Good morning, everyone. Well, it is another fine morning here in Fargo, North Dakota. A little bit of rain, a little bit of snow. Opening of deer season here in North Dakota. Opening for deer season in Minnesota tomorrow. UND NDSU football game is on Saturday, and there's high school playoff games going on right now all over the place, both in North Dakota and Minnesota. It's an exciting time of year. Today I want to talk to you about something that's simple, yet it's life-changing in many ways. Something I've done nearly every day since 1977. It's called journaling, not just keeping a diary. I wanted to write about what I was feeling and doing in my career as an educator. And I wanted to make sure that people understood, and in particular, probably I wanted my father to understand why I wasn't going into medicine and research. I was going into teaching and coaching. I was writing my way into my purpose, although I was definitely entrenched in it deeply by 1977 in many ways. Literally, a journal helps you process life, clarifying what matters, and over time discovering who you really are. And it is something that, as I said earlier, it really is important. Proverbs 25 states, "The purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out." Well, that's exactly what a journal does, and what journaling does and has done for me. It helps us draw out what's buried in the deep waters of our soul, our fears, our hopes, our callings, our gratitude, and even the stories we didn't know we needed to tell. I know I've done that, and even part of my journey and my things that have happened in my life that I don't know that my family totally understood. I've written about them in my journals. Now, like I said, I began journaling back in 1977. In the early days, it was pretty simple, just scraps of thoughts, reactions to different things that had happened, struggles, prayers, lots of prayer. Later in the mid-'80s, I moved on to using the computer with the help of a friend of mine by the name of Al Amo. And, it really became part of everything I did for almost 30 years. But in 2014, something totally shifted. I returned to paper and pen, and something sacred also happened. That is my journal that I actually started in on this one after I ran out of pages on the last one. And it's, if you read it, it started in May of 2025, and it'll go through a good share of 2026, I'm thinking. And I returned to paper and pen, and the act of handwriting slowed me down a bit. It made me present. It helped me feel things that I hadn't felt in years. Some of the pages in my journals are stained with tears of sadness about things that had happened that I had felt some hurt from. And I also had some tears of joy because of some really fantastic things that had happened. I'll give you one example. The other day, I had the opportunity to watch my grandson Lucas perform with the University of Iowa Orchestra, and that he's on his journey, and he is a cellist, and it was wonderful. And yes, it made me cry. In fact, even as I think about it today, it still makes me a little tearful because he's a very talented young man, and he's doing some things that are really good, and they are important in so many ways. Now, the one thing that you do when you do a journal is that you write with honesty. The words become mirrors. They show you your growth, and they show you your pain. And they also reflect your gratitude for the people and places that carried you through. One of the journals that I wrote a long, long time ago was one that I wrote about Dr. Harry Wong. In October of 1973, I was ready to bail out of education because I was doing education essentially the way that I was taught to do it, and it wasn't truly the way I thought it should be done. And then I had the opportunity to hear Dr. Wong at the teachers convention, and I heard it sitting in the library at Red River High School. And I came back and I restarted my whole school year because of what I had heard. And I used that process actually every single year that I have taught. And that reflection was on something and someone that I had a great deal of gratitude for. And I could tell him more stories about my connection with Dr. Wong, but that's for another time. One of the books that reignited my journaling habit was The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. He taught me what's in the book is called The Savers, and I would encourage each and every one of you to get the book and read about it. But one of the savers was called scribing, which he talks about in the book, and that is journaling. He taught me to begin each morning with a purpose again, and it was literally like today. I did my devotions, I did some exercise, and then I journaled. And journaling usually takes about a half hour, and I wrote about a lot of different things, but they were all right from my heart. I'll guarantee that. And then a few years ago, I read Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. And when you buy that book, you also get a journal that he provides. Now, I haven't written in his journal because I was already doing it. And he has a statement in there that at the very beginning of the journal that makes so much sense and is, I believe, a thing that is true about the book, because it was literally a study in his life's journey. The journal, and this is quoting him, the journal is a place for stories, the people, places, prescribes, poems, prayers, and bumper stickers of your life. And he was absolutely right. The journal becomes the autobiography of your soul. And if you let it, it becomes a roadmap to your purpose. Now, for those of you that are so inclined to become part of the Becomers, Each of you is going to get a journal for the Becomers Movement Journal. It's not just a notebook like the notebook I have here. It's going to track your thoughts, reflect on your passions, explore your things about your purpose, and record the gratitude that you feel for those people who have helped you along the way. It is a place to ask hard questions or have hard questions asked of you, and a place to be vulnerable, a place to grow, and definitely a place to be absolutely honest. So I ask you today, what are you writing down? What are you learning? What wisdom are you drawing out of that deep waters of your own life? The pages of your journal could become the chapters of your transformation. And if you've never started, today is a great day to start one, to begin your own journal. You don't have to write perfectly. You don't have to write grammatically correct. You don't even have to spell things right. Just write. Because the journey to purpose, passion, and gratitude is best recorded one page at a time, one word at a time. So everyone, go out today, touch somebody, raise them up, make their day that much better by what you've done for them, understanding that what you've done for them may not ever be paid back. But in doing that one small thing, you've made their day and their life better. And you've also made your day and your life better. And you have made this world a much better place. Thank all of you for being here. Check out the Becomers Movement on the website, and I'm going to post a reflection paper here for you to reflect on the video also, just as I've done with the others. Have a good one.